Good evening, my name is Royce and I am a Crossroads guest. You'll have to bear with me, Zig Ziglar I'm not, so I'm going to do the best I can. When I was asked to do my testimony, I thought, yeah, I can do this. And the more I thought about it, I thought, wow, I've never done this before, what am I going to do? The first thing I did, I looked up the word testimony in the dictionary. Here's what it said. A first-hand account of proof of religious experience. Wow, that seemed a little overwhelming to me. You know, how was I going to get up in front of a group of strangers and show what God has done in my life? So I started working on it, and I realized it wasn't going to be that hard. God has been very good to me. So my life has been a series of experiences, tragedies, and a lot of bad choices. So here I go. Here it is, laid out before you, my life account, and how the presence of God has changed me. When I was 8, my brother got ran over by a tractor and was paralyzed from the waist down. He was in a hospital for almost 2 years. My parents were gone most of the time. My other brother and I had to spend a lot of time moving from relative to relative. There was a lot of drinking in there, and so drinking to me was kind of a thing that was just accepted. We just knew that. Little did I know at the time that I was an alcoholic. One day my parents brought my brother home from the hospital, and they were both working 2 jobs at the time, very hard workers. My brother was busy, and it left me as the only caregiver that my brother had, so it was my responsibility to take care of my brother. I worked hard. I did well at home. I did well in school. I got good grades, top of the class most of my time. When I got into high school, I met some new friends, started doing drugs, started drinking on a regular basis. Eventually, I decided to quit school because I just had better things to do. My plan was to join the Army, go on and get a GI Bill, go to school. They discovered I had a high-frequency hearing loss, so I couldn't go to the Army, so I ended up going to work. I worked as construction, I washed dishes at restaurants, I worked at a tire store, and I partied a lot. When I was 19, I finally got a job in Lincoln as a production supervisor at a small meat packing plant there in Lincoln. I was making really good money. It's not like I'd never used drugs before, but at that time, I could afford them. I ended up getting married. And it was 9 months. I ended up getting divorced, lost my job, and I was drinking and using drugs quite heavy. I continued to drink, and I moved from job to job to job to job. I went to treatment a couple of times, nothing seemed to work. I do get a little emotional because this is Crossroads and they've really done very well for me. I went through short periods of sobriety, but nothing seemed to work. After many years, my mom finally let me move back in with her. I was kind of being a bum, laid down in her basement drinking. 2005, November, my mom passed away from cancer. My brothers and my sister come over and said, "You've got to leave. We can't do anything more for you. You've got to get out of Mom's house." So I packed up a blanket, my pillow, an extra change of clothes, and my dog. I had to take my dog, he was cute. And I went to stay with a buddy, and he was living in an old abandoned barber shop in Minden. This is the middle of October, it was cold. He had no heat, no water, no toilet, no nothing. It had been about a month, and I hadn't taken a shower. So I went over to my sister's and I begged her to let me use a shower. This is Thanksgiving Day, and I didn't know what else to do. I got on the phone, I called the police department in Minden. And I said, come and arrest me. I'm going up to Mason's, which is the grocery store, and I'm going to steal 2 gallons of milk. Come and arrest me. Put me in jail. I figured, it's got to be better than what I had. At least it was warm. I'd get some meals, and I'd have to stay sober in jail, right? Well, the police officer knew. He knew me. He heard my cry, and he said, Royce, I know this place. He said, there's a place in Hastings called Crossroads. So why don't you check into that? I'd seen homeless shelters before in Lincoln and Omaha, so I was really expecting the worst. When I got to Crossroads in Hastings, I walked through the front doors and I seen these beautiful offices, and I thought, wow, here's all the really nice offices. Where do they keep the homeless people? I was quite surprised. It was beautiful. And it was great, I felt being at Crossroads, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the presence of God, all the friends I was making, or what it was for sure. I know that I was meeting new friends, and Crossroads really made me feel like I was somebody, and God really, truly did love me. Wasn't like any treatment center I'd ever been to. Treatment centers, they kick you out in 30 days and expect you to be well. Crossroads helped ease me back into reality. Slowly. I was given responsibilities there, but not so many that it made me stress out and relapse. I was also given the chance to get my GED while I was at Crossroads. And I'm proud to say that I was one of the very first ones to get my GED during their stay at Crossroads. I'm so proud of that. 2 hours of community service we had to do. It really helped a lot. I started out at First United Methodist Church doing janitorial work. I went on to the Opportunity House thrift store where I ran the thrift store. Eventually I ended up at the Salvation Army answering phones. Just before I entered the employment phase of Crossroads, I had a heart attack. Had to have quadruple bypass surgery, so I couldn't work. I started volunteering more and more at the Salvation Army. Eventually it turned into a full-time office job, which was a blessing. It was 9 years ago in November that I first came to Crossroads. And due to some serious health issues and some very good friends, God has led me back there once more. By the way, I'm still sober. 9 years. 9 years. By the grace of God. Only by the grace of God. And I just want to say thank you for caring enough to give me so that Crossroads would still be there for me. I've seen a lot of people come through the doors of Crossroads. A lot of these people I still have in contact with. And I can tell you, Crossroads touches people. Anybody that walks through the front doors of Crossroads, I don't care who you are or where you've been, your lives are changed. Your lives are changed. In Psalm chapter 18, verses 18 and 19 reads, "They confronted me in my day of disaster, but the Lord was my support. He brought me out into a spacious place. He rescued me because he delighted in me." I truly believe that. I truly believe that. Thank you. Thank you for providing that spacious place for him to rescue me. But let's not forget, tonight's not about me. Tonight it's about the people that are still out there, the people that are suffering, who don't have that safe place to go to. People that have just plain run out of options. Tonight I pray that they get to that spacious place that they need to be rescued. I believe that's what God wants, and I believe that's what Crossroads is all about. I pray that God will bless all of you for caring for people like me and for all those who still need rescuing. Thank you. And may God richly bless you all. Good night.